To-do list. Look at the data visualization from the Pew Center regarding major gaps between the public, scientists on key issues. Pick one and explain why the gaps exist between the public and scientists on that issue. Well, that sounds fun. I wonder what the issues are. Oh. Hello everyone, my name is Michael, and I'll be going over the issues specifically on the gap between the public and the scientists. And I'll be using the safe to eat genetically modified foods as a topic to talk about. So, what is the gap here? Well, looking at the numbers, we see that it's 37% of the public do agree that it's safe to eat genetically modified food. However, that's kind of small compared to how many of the scientists or the AAA members agree with the statement. And one common reason for this 51-point gap between the public and the scientists is the fear of GMOs. And one of the reasons for that fear is the words or languages that communicators from science use. According to Anastasia Bodnar on her post on Biofortified, scientists and science communicators are also partially to blame for GMO fear. The language we choose influences what people see. And I do agree with that statement because while scientists have done the research and they may be right, scientists trying to communicate what they found to the public is challenging because scientists tend to use jargons and long words that the public won't know, and while the public is trying to understand what the scientists are trying to say, what they'll do is try to find a common word or common ground that they do understand, and if they find a word that seems scary to them or may seem negative, that's when people's perspective of things start to change. And the result of that is not only the GMO fear, but also a negative connotation or representations of scientists. Just take a look at this video from the Vice News when they asked people about GMOs.
It does bother me that scientists are playing God with our food because we don't know what the long-term repercussions are.
I know people have criticized GMOs and they've said that it's scientists playing God. It's just this kind of anti-scientific rhetoric that's swiveling around, which doesn't need to exist.
So, the GMO fear isn't the only problem that's causing the gap, but also the negative perspectives that we view scientists as kind of prevents us from trying to understand what they're saying. And lastly, if we take a look back at the topic here, we can see that a small percentage of scientists who do the research disagreed and said it is not safe to eat genetically modified foods. Now, this does generate some questions, such as how did they get different results from the majority 88% of the scientists? Or are they right or wrong? And furthermore, is the majority right or wrong? And with those questions, it can easily stir up the crowd and possibly contribute to the gap. Other than some questions of validity and expertise, what I wanted to look at specifically is the relations of both parties who disagreed. Now, I'd like to speak from first-hand experience from interacting with the crowd that disagreed. I asked, why do you believe that GMOs are bad? And the majority of the answers were all similar. Because Dr. X says so. Boy, this Dr. X sounds like he's one of the 12% of the scientists who disagreed. But more importantly, from the interviews I've conducted for a while, we can see that the scientist who did disagree does have a relation to the gap. So, in conclusion and overall, the gap isn't just one problem that has a solution, but a variety of factors that create confusion and misconception, like fear of GMOs, for example, or negative perceptions of scientists that may blind us to listen and understand them. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.